That last word word we don't play. DMV heat coming straight your way. No visit to the 757. We ride. Rusty Byrd got the bullpen.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Rusty Byrd, and we're back with the second episode of my new podcast, The Last Word. And so today our topic is The Last Word with Rusty Byrd and Coach D and his Loudoun County football. That's right, Loudoun County football, y'all. This is one of the best teams in Class 4 in the VHSL. They're right up here clearly in what? Loudoun County. All right, Coach D introduced these guys, and then we'll get to know a little bit more about them. Coach D.
Yeah, so we got a couple of our top players on the call tonight with us. Starting off first off, Carter Scruggs. Say what's up to everybody, Carter.
What's up?
Carter's a big man for us, playing on both sides of the line, and he'll be headed to Clemson next fall. Next up is number 1, Montez Dyson.
Montez!
Yeah, we call him Big Smiles.
Y'all, he's got moves. He's got moves.
Again, another two-way starter for us, known to bring the boom on the defensive side and also to make a move and get in the end zone for you. And then last but not least is a nice young man who's a very good student and a nice individual, and even better person, Jeremiah Davis Jr.
What's up, cuz?
What's up?
Hey, all right. Look, man, thank you guys for joining me. I'm real excited. This is but 757 born, just like Coach D. I have a love for sports, going back to just growing up in that atmosphere, playing in youth football and high school football down there. But I came up here and I was like, oh, wait a minute, we got ballers up here too. You know, Fairfax County. I live in Prince William, but Loudoun County, I mean, has been an explosion of football talent and really great teams winning state championships. And I think I've got a team right here that has the ability to do that in Class 4. So I want to first start out by asking you guys, so you all are 9-1. You're headed to the playoffs. You have a bye in the first round. Tell me a little bit about this season. You're all seniors. Tell me a little bit about this season and just what it's been like to be a captain for the last 4 years. We'll start with you, Carter.
Honestly, it's been really fun. You know, just being a captain and just really leading this team. This season's been really fun as well. Obviously the record kind of shows, you know, our dominance this year, and we're excited to kind of bring it to the playoffs.
Yeah, okay. Montez.
This season's been fun. I know like we've been having like ups and downs last season, so definitely we've been putting people on notice this season. It's been a great season for a lot of people on this team.
Okay. The season's been going very well for us. It has a different energy, I'd say, than the past couple of years. I think we know what we're capable of and what we can do this year. And as a group, that's a great feeling. As a leader on the team, it feels good. We have a lot of leaders and a lot of people willing to step up into roles that they haven't been in before. And I think that helps a lot right now.
Now, I know the obvious answer to this question is, well, if I say, what is your goal for this year, is to win the next 4 games for you, but to be a state champion.
Yes,
but what I'd like you to do is, can you define success? Define success for me, if whatever it is, if it's in 2 weeks or in 5 weeks, when you play your last game, you've played your last down in that Loudoun County uniform. How would you define success, not just for this year, but for your career as a Loudoun County captain? That answer can be individual. It can be, you could define your success by your team's record, by maybe your individual accomplishment, you know, being all region or whatever, or, you know, just the fellowship. I'm not trying to give you the answers, but you could define success however you wish. And I'll start with you, Jeremiah. How would you define success for your career at Loudoun County, and also just for this season once it's over?
I think to define success for me is to meet your personal expectations and even excelling past those. I think we all set ourselves expectations and we want things to be done and we want to win, obviously. So when you meet stuff like that, I think that's very successful. And so far this season, we've been meeting those goals and accomplishing them. And we still have ways to go, but it's a good start for us.
Okay, good. Montez.
Uh, I always like to put the team goals before my own personal goals. The team is really what's important to me. Obviously, I make goals for myself, but I know if I put in the work in the off season that it'll show up on Fridays. So I feel like I've been doing that. Just the goals for the team is just week by week, just proving to everybody that we're supposed to be here.
Carter.
Yeah, like Montez said, go 1-0 every week. Everyone's going, in the offseason to win a region championship. And obviously you want to leave a legacy as well. So like just doing something that, that's never been done at the school, could be really special. So that's really kind of one of our goals.
I'll let Coach Davis ask the next question, but I do have a question for you, Coach D. For those that don't know, clearly, Coach Davis and Jeremiah Davis, they're kind of related, I think. Yeah, no, that's um, Jeremiah's oldest son, second of four children. But Coach Davis has been a head coach in the area of two programs. He's an assistant on this team, was a tremendous high school player at Annandale and played at Penn State. Coach Davis, can you tell us um, some things about these young men, or and how you would define success for this season, and or anything related to these young men that others may not know? An assistant coach on that team, but you also know these young men.
Yeah, definitely. They known most of them since eighth grade. Definitely coached them since, and they've all played together since freshman football together. And we were a pretty special group back then. And remember, we started off at Sherando High School. Carter went out to make a tackle, hurt his shoulder. Jeremiah got a pass thrown high, got hit in the ribs. I mean, this is the first game. This is the first game of the season. They're shaking their head because they remember that we had to go all the way down to Sherando. And Montez running for his life back there, running around. We won that game and we never looked back. We tied a game 0-0, and it was the first game that Montez got moved up to varsity. And Jeremiah was the long snapper on the varsity team. Carter was
I
still
remember that.
yeah, Carter was still recovering back then, and but as a group, they kind of put it together then. There's a lot of kids at the last game we had. I think it was probably 9 of the 14 players played on one of the same youth leagues teams. So again, this has been building for a little bit, and they felt they were special coming in. This year's been different. Again, it's hard. And Rush, you've coached before too. You try to leave that part out. You've coached a lot track. You coach football. You've done that, right? And it's hard not to coach how you were coached. But these
Yes.
are different kids. Kids are kids, and I work with kids all the time. And kids are kids, but this is a different group of kids. But one thing is that remains is that how you respond to adversity. And when you go 9-1, you got to kind of make up some. You know what I mean? You
Yep.
face some during
Yeah.
there's some times where you dominate some people. And Carter will be the first to tell you, I'll be hard on him. I am, boy. I'm like, you're gonna catch it next year. You're gonna catch it now. Montez is no. I'm telling you, it's very hard to find a chink in this game, right? But when we do, you gotta alert that. And so again,
Yep.
it's artificial. Um, but in that moment, in those tough moments that you go throughout a game, when you're hurting when it doesn't feel good, when it doesn't go your way, right? How do I respond to that adversity? And all three of these guys,
Absolutely.
along with the team, is just bounce back through those adversity.
That's a great answer, because that is a big thing with me. You're right. We do have to coach the young folks today much different than we were coached, or even when we started coaching, years ago. But one of the things I've seen is that it's a lot of young athletes today. Everything is great when it's going good.
Mhm.
But as soon as they get that adversity, and I see the head go down, and they don't know how to respond, and it's pointing fingers, or they're just not responding. The thing I saw on your sideline is you all pick each other up. You're encouraging each other the whole game, and it's not just when somebody scores or makes a big play. You're like, hey, and I see you all like, come on, let's go. And believe me, I'm on the sidelines a lot. It's not happening with a lot of programs. and that's with good teams. So that's encouraging to hear that from you, Coach Davis. Sports. What other sports do you play at Loudoun County, or were there other sports you played growing up? And or are there sports you thought you should have been playing and you just didn't do it?
I'm gonna
I'll give
start
you
that
like,
one off. I'm gonna start that one off with myself.
okay, okay.
So folks out there on the internet know my first sport I ever played, Mount Vernon Iceplex, was hockey.
Oh,
I was a hockey player. First sport I ever played was hockey. Surprising fact.
yeah. Okay, that is a good one. I did know that, but that is a really good one.
When I was younger, I wrestled. I wrestled a lot. I
I
wrestled
remember.
my freshman year of high school, but wrestling was big for me. Wrestling and football were two big ones for me growing up. There were some more sprinkled in there. There was some soccer, some t-ball, some
Yep.
basketball, but
Basketball.
wrestling and football. And now going into high school, track and field has become one for me that I'm seeing some success in. But wrestling and football was big.
Jeremiah, you probably don't remember this, but the first time and I've been living in Prince William County for years, but the first time I ever even went to Brentsville District High School was to watch you wrestle, youth wrestling. Remember that, Jerry?
Yep.
Yep. Came out there to support you and watch you. And yeah, so that's a good one. You're a little wrestler, man.
Yeah.
In fact, because of you wrestling, I got my son Justin to wrestle.
Good. That's good.
Yeah. And even if you didn't keep it on, I know it provided you with some tools that have been useful for football.
For sure.
Yeah. Montez?
I used to like basketball more than I liked football. To be honest, I always wanted to be a basketball player until third grade. I used to think I was Kyrie Irving, but I'm not. I'm short. So
I was gonna say you and I got the same deficiencies on the court.
yeah,
It's our height. We're about not that we couldn't still play. I love to play. And if you got game, you got game.
Right.
But it kind of sometimes limits you. But yeah, I feel you on that one.
Yeah, I used to love basketball, but football just runs in my family. Like everybody just plays football, and it just took over the love for basketball that I had.
Okay. Carter, archery.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of grew up huh? No archery.
Oh, no.
No.
Okay.
I grew up playing pretty much every sport you could think of. But I kind of wish I started playing basketball earlier because I started playing freshman year and I wasn't very good. So yeah, I just kind of wish I played earlier. And I also played track last year. I tried that out. I was pretty decent at it, but obviously football was kind of a calling for me.
It's not very clear for people with you being on a record Zoom call, but can you tell people your height?
I'm 6'6".
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Mhm.
Big guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sophomore year, this was a tandem on the JV basketball court right here. They all
Oh,
Yeah.
so they feel
I mean, I just didn't have the skills, the score. I could jump up and get rebounds, but I didn't really wasn't very good at it.
that's it. Box out, get rebounds.
just box
Yeah.
out rebound.
Defense. You just got to make
If I would have had the skills if I grew up playing basketball, but I kind of grew up playing football, so.
Now, Carter, let me ask you this: were you always tall and always big, or did you have just a growth spurt at one point?
So I was always tall, but I wasn't very big. I've always kind of been skinny my whole life, and not
Okay.
until my sophomore year I kind of started putting some mass on and filling out my frame.
Okay. So Montez, I don't know if you probably didn't have this problem, but I did. When I was younger, I was actually tall. I'm 5'7". But when I played youth sports, I was taller than I was I was a big kid. So I played my first year playing football. As much as I wanted to play football, I had to play center and defensive tackle. And I really wasn't
Wow.
chubby, but I was, a lineman. And I kept telling the coach, no, I want to, and of course, Coach Davis, everybody, when they first play football, they want to be what? A running back, or at least back then. Everybody wanted to be a running back. And I was like, I want to be a running back. He had me playing center. But it worked out. I appreciated learning how to block later on. what happened is later on, I ended up playing high school JV. I played quarterback and varsity. I played running back, and I remember those coaches who had me on the line. I remember playing against their sons in high school and running all over them. And I went back to them. I said, I told you I could have been a running back.
What color was your youth league face mask?
Oh, bruh. You know, it was Penn State special, the cheapest thing out there, gray. And that's why to this day, well, I learned to love Penn State uniforms only because of you, Jeremiah.
Yeah, but they don't have that now as a throwback option. So just so everybody knows, right? He associates white helmets and gray face masks with youth.
Poor.
Yes, okay, there we go. All right, he just said it.
Poor.
Yes. He says it's
So
that's the basic. That's the basic you can get is white helmet, gray.
The most basic. We was a store called A&N, and if you got this, I had the white helmet with the Roger Staubach face mask, and I just put some masking tape down the middle to make it look like I had a stripe, and that's what I rocked until I got to a program that painted our helmets, and I was like, oh snap. Anyway, I'll let y'all talk.
So now talk about that though, right? So Rusty, you played what on offense when you first started offensive line?
Yes, sir.
And then you were a defensive end when you first started out. So
yes,
talk to me about. I'm gonna start with Carter. Were you always a lineman when you played?
Oh yeah, I've only played on the line.
I was the same way. I was a big kid.
Yep.
I was chubby, and then I got tall a little bit, but I was always on the line. I was too big back in the day when in the Fairfax County League, you had that meet a pound and age requirement.
Yeah.
And my last year I could play in the Fairfax County League was in 6th grade because I was too big. I was young enough, but I was too big. I had to play on with the 8th grade team, and I was always on the line. After that, I bowled and played basketball, and then when I got to high school, I feel like I know these, but Montez, tell me what you played when you first started.
Played left guard. I was kind of chubby, and I used to wear baseball cleats, so I was slow too. So I was running, but I wasn't as fast as everybody else, but I could block. So I played left guard when I started.
So you
were make you tough, man.
So you were slow because of the cleats.
That's what I like to say, but I was just slow in general.
I'm gonna make sure Mr. Dyson watches.
So I'm gonna go back old school. At least you had cleats. Okay.
Jeremiah, what'd you play?
I was a center and a defensive tackle, playing up in age group. I was too big for our normal age group. I played up and center and D tackle.
Oh, plays a middle linebacker. When we first number 4, you can see in the back screen, he was number 4. I remember when he was a little guy and Herndon a little.
Yeah, I remember that.
We went to the championship at Robinson. One play away from championship mode, but we're gonna see if we can get back to it. It's funny where you start. It's funny bringing it up where you start and some of those skills that transfer. Talking about things you did with wrestling, baseball, basketball. Those skills transfer and thinking about that. Like I'm thinking about the makeup of our team this year. We really have that now. 4 years ago, we were pretty good. That first year that when these guys were freshmen, it was 2022. We made it to the regional championship and played versus. We lost the Kettle Run team by not much, 1 or 2, right at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And they eventually played in the state championship game. But one of the things that we have in common with that team is we have a lot of carryover. A lot of those guys were on the state qualifying basketball team, and then that year they went to the state championship and lost versus a real good team from Richmond. They had a guy going to VCU, and he was all over the place. But we had a good group of kids that did multiple sports. Then it's the same way now. It's 4A schools a little bit different than the 6A with the just sheer number of kids. And so which you share athletes and they come together as a group and they hopefully win some football games.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff. Real good. Speaking of those things, playing sports, and just missing out on the championship. I mean, I can kind of relate. I coached my son at APYFL, but I'm sorry, we won the championship. Okay, we won the Fairfax County Championship, and we beat Gainesville. Oh, I'm sorry, I just thought I'd throw that in there. But what are, and I'm gonna tell you, all jokes aside, I've won championships in youth sports in basketball, football, baseball, but and then I played flag football, and I played adult softball, and I've had a lot of experiences, and some of the best were for me, and this is legit. In all of my participation in sports, one of the best things that ever happened was winning that youth championship, coaching that youth championship, because I saw how much we grew as a team and what we did. And the very next year, I coached my son's middle school team, and we won the middle school championship in Prince William County. But let me ask you all, to date, what would you say is your single greatest experience as an athlete? And it doesn't have to be when it could be winning a championship. It could be a singular point in a singular game, or it could be just something that you it just when you lay your head down at night, it kind of pops in your mind every now and then, like, oh, it, um, Jeremiah, what for you? What would you say is your singular greatest accomplishment or experience playing sports?
I think my single greatest accomplishment that I remember very often is my first touchdown pass that I caught on varsity against Loudoun Valley High School at Loudoun Valley my sophomore year. We
Awesome.
practiced this play a bunch. I ran it my freshman year, struggled to catch it sometimes. We threw it, it was open, struggled to catch it. We come through, coach called it right near the goal line, and I caught my first varsity touchdown pass then. That was a very fun moment for us.
Great. That's what I want to hear. How about you, Carter?
Honestly, I don't really know. I'm gonna think probably going back to fourth grade, really just playing my first season of football. I think going undefeated and winning the championship. I just think that was just made me fall in love with football, and I think that was probably my greatest, not really my greatest accomplishment, it's just like most memorable, probably.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Hmm.
Montez.
Would say I'm gonna take it back to the old school. When I was like 6 years old, my first year playing football. I had a lot of friends on that team, like who go to Stonebridge, Chase Skeeter, Xavier
Oh
Wimbush.
yeah.
Yeah, we have went 12-0 that year, won a state championship. It was just fun. It was like a great season. And now like I those are still my friends to this day. So that's probably the most memorable.
Coach Davis. What about yours?
I was thinking while they were talking. I mean, mine has really come from watching all of my kids have success.
Yeah.
The only person who has a championship, and I technically got a track state championship at Annandale, but I mean that they won on is our oldest girl, Saray Davis, and she lets everybody. That's what Jeremiah. She lets everybody know she's the only one. And that year, the head coach. His kids go to Light Ridge now, and he's a good friend of the family. Actually, the girls go to school together at Penn State now. But he couldn't make it, or he had a business trip. We were playing the number one team in the league, and I had to coach. I had to coach him up, and
Oh.
I saved my second timeout to the end, and we called the timeout, got to set the play up, the play work, we score, we win, we make it to the championship game, and we win it the next week. So that was pretty cool. But again, watching all the kids coaching, my youngest girl in flag football, she scored a touchdown. Um,
Oh.
Coaching third grade basketball with my oldest girl, Saray. We started off 0-4. We were terrible. I mean, we were the bad news bears. We couldn't make layups. And this is why we practiced how to get rebounds. And she put one play in. We made it to the championship that year. And so again, just celebrating it with the kids, and
Yeah.
watching them have success. That's awesome.
I'll tell you, coaching, I think my greatest joy, I never forget winning those championships as a coach, because those have been the most special. But as an athlete, and I played youth football, high school football, but I think some of my greatest experiences were actually playing men's flag football, the teams that I created, like me and friends like Russell and some other guys, but we had played together. But it was a group of friends and fellowshipping, and actually being able to play. Yeah, Jeremiah, I don't know if you know, but Russell and I used to always say, "Man, we know we'll be old, but it'd be great if we could ever just play flag football with Jeremiah." And then we were able to do that. But I think some of my greatest experiences was playing in flag football games with guys, because it was a way to fellowship, and spend quality time together.
And then you
And then
were playing quarterback. Don't forget about this. You were playing
yeah.
quarterback, and you invited me out as an adult, not as a young adult. I was back home now. I was first year teaching. Maybe my first was born. She used to come out to the practices, and then you just try to set me up the one time. Okay, we were practicing over in Annandale at the park, and you threw the ball out of bounds to see how high I could jump. Listen to this, guys. And so I go for it, and everyone's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm just running full speed, hit the fence, flip over the
Oh,
fence, feet are in the air. He's like, oh, yeah, that hurt. I still got the scar.
what? You got up and you played it off real well.
So you want to hear something funny? So Team Jesus actually, and we were talking about this when we went out of town one time. Montez Dyson, his dad, Sean Dyson, actually played against us in that league.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yep, with Team Jesus.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And I was telling somebody about that yesterday at the Brentsfield girls flag football game. I said we were kind of a well-known team, not just because we were good, but we were one of the teams that ran the option. Like, and people be like, "Oh yeah, I remember y'all," So we had success. But the main thing, and this is what I want to, and bringing this around to you guys, is some of the most precious times in your life. At some point, football is going to end for everybody. Sports, your track, basketball, it's all going to end, but it's going to be some, and that's what I want you to remember. Some of these special times that you're having on the field. Hopefully, your season ends in 5 weeks, but even if it doesn't, just cherish and appreciate these. So, look, we talked about your greatest moments. I did want to ask, who who are some of the people in your life that have been the biggest influences when it comes to not just sports, but maybe life? Is there any person or any individuals? It could be coaches, parents, families, anybody. We'll start with you, Montez. Who have been some of the people that have influenced you in your life?
Um, the people in my life who have inspired me, like and influenced me, definitely my parents. My dad has like they have two different roles. Like my mom, she's like the one I call on, like when I need to just vent and like just need somebody to support me. But my dad is the one who tells me what I need to do, how I can get better, and he always pushes me to be better each and every day. So definitely my parents.
Cool, cool. Carter.
Yeah, I think most influential person to me is definitely my mom. She just always she's always shows up, supports me, and just she's really hard on me. Like she's probably the hardest person on me, and I think she, is definitely the most influential person for me.
Cool, cool. Jeremiah.
To me, my most influential people in my life are my parents. They taught me from a young age morals and everything that I put into place today, and it shows. And you can notice it when you are with your peers and stuff like that. Like you notice your parents had a good role on you. And one that I think I overlook sometimes, and I've realized, is my siblings have a big role in my life. My older sister set a great example for me on how to be the oldest sibling when she was around in the house, and that I had to step into that role. And even my younger siblings showing me like the way that you act and what you do has an influence on other people, and they will follow you. So my siblings and my parents, my family, has a great influence on me.
Outstanding. Jeremiah. I'm sure people would be interested in hearing some of you. I'm sure you've answered this question on the show before, but how about you?
Yeah, I think my mom is, she's the one who raised me and brought me up, and she like Jeremiah said, like instill those values that you didn't know until you went out that everybody didn't have, like you know what I mean,
Yeah.
cutting out the light when you leave the bathroom, and stuff like that. But just you're thankful for that one, for those qualities that were instilled in you. And the other were all my mentors, and that there's too many to just name one. But yourself, Rusty, we were blonde and part of the church. Dick Adams, my head football coach. Larry
Yeah.
Johnson Sr., my college coach. God knew uh, what I needed in the absence of a father in my household. Every time I had to turn around or had a change in my life, I had an older man to step in and intercede during that time. And so I'm just thankful for those men that build those bridges, for me.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. And for me, much like you, Jeremiah, my mom, most of my growing up was a single mom, and I look back, man, and I'm just like, yo, my mom was straight balling at being a mom. Like, I look back, like it wasn't always easy, raising two boys. But my mom was led by faith, and she did things to keep us active and in the community, in sports and in activities, scouts or whatever. But I look back and much mad props to my mom. And then when she did um, get remarried, my stepdad very influential. But then I think, and then this is why I can say this. This is why I have this show in this format. Is I can say I've influenced that God has had on my life, and being able to go to church and have fellowship through people in church. I met my wife in church. The church I went to was because of Jeremiah and his mom, and so people in that community have influenced me. So yeah, I think we are kind of combination of all the things that our experiences that made us what we are. And I will say this, both of you guys have always been very friendly when I've been around you and met you. And that's the thing, is you don't know who's watching you. You don't know when I did see you or whatever, and I was observing you. But another thing is, Jeremiah, I'm so proud of you as a father, because whenever your kids or your son, especially your two oldest, because they've seen me the most, when and, the other one you guys are, but like it makes me feel good because kids don't do this all the time. But Jeremiah will come up and just give me a hug or dap me up, and I'm like, some kids don't do that, and so that means a lot to me as a older guy who goes, okay, that boy got some home training. All right, so look, good stuff. But I think those are the type of things your fans and people out here want to hear, know, and learn about. So that's good. Last question specifically about sports is, who in sports, now like Charles Barkley said, like role models. I'm not into other people being role models necessarily, because you don't know who and how they really are. But maybe who are some of the athletes that you kind of look up to, or who would you, whether it's how they carry themselves off the court or on the field or whatever, but who would you be as put in your Mount Rushmore, your top four athletes? It could be any sport that you just admire. Who are your Mount Rushmore of athletes? I'll start with you, Coach Davis.
So we get four because that's what's on
Four. Yeah,
on my
and you
list.
don't feel pressure to stay me, so you can. I'm
Um,
five. Now you can go.
one of on my Mount Rushmore is number 86 from Penn State, Courtney Brown.
Courtney, I was gonna say
No,
Courtney Brown.
yeah, not Jeremiah Davis.
No, but no,
Courtney
he was.
Brown. And I just need the viewers, I need the guys on this call, I need y'all to just go back. You could just hit it up on YouTube and you'll see pure dominance, like just pure dominance. Trust me on that. I mean, it didn't translate into the NFL, just some injuries and all that stuff. And I know him personally. But definitely, Courtney Brown is up there for me. And it's weird, right? Of all time athletes, trust me, go watch them, guys. Um, Michael Jordan is up there for me, right? And for a myriad of reasons, fashion, first and foremost, we can go in the closet. All right. But just how to my generation, I get it. LeBron James is the man now, and he deserves all the accolades. But Michael Jordan to my generation is definitely up there. Um, Mike Tyson is just was right there with Michael Jordan, right? Like that was
Yeah,
the last time I remember because everybody couldn't get the fight. You had to go over to your aunt's house who could get the
yep,
fight, who had the brown cable box with the little wood on the top, and that's when you had
yep.
a fight party to
But
watch.
don't get there late. Don't get to the fight party late.
Don't come late. Don't come late because there will
Because
not be
all
no baby shower meatballs for nobody or none of that for you there. Um, and then my final on my Mount Rushmore, his career isn't complete yet. It's number 11 for Loudoun County High School. He's a dog, man. He's the player that I wish I could have been, leader wise, smart wise. I'm just excited to see where he goes. So that's my Mount Rushmore.
right. Well, we'll go with you, Montez. Who would be your top 4 athletes?
My top 4 for my Mount Rushmore. Number 1, I would have to say Jahmyr Gibbs. Right now, I love Jahmyr Gibbs. I would say like I try to play like Jahmyr Gibbs. I did my stance like Jahmyr Gibbs. So everything's just been Jahmyr Gibbs. Another one, I love Jamar Chase. Before, funny story,
Oh,
when I got to Loudoun County, I wanted to be a receiver. I didn't want to be a running back.
We know.
So, and that was a big reason was Jamar Chase. I loved watching Jamar Chase before games. I still do it to this day. 3, I would say I used to love Cam Newton coming out of college. Auburn, Cam Newton, and then like even with the Panthers a little bit, I used to love Cam Newton. And then 4, I would say my dad, to be honest. My dad is just like the reason I love football to this day. I love watching him play when he used to play adult flag. I used to go to his games, and he actually got inducted to the Hall of Fame for his adult flag league today. So I just love watching my dad.
Oh, cool. Jeremiah.
All right. So I think my number 1 is Marshawn Lynch. When I first started watching football and getting into it, that was the first player that I really enjoyed watching. He's the reason I Seahawks fan today. My number 2, Montez stole from me, but Cam Newton, because we just talked about it on the FaceTime before, but Cam Newton is one of mine.
I got a picture for this. Like, we got to post with that. I got a picture we got to post with that.
I wore him as a Halloween costume. He was a face. He went to the Super Bowl and all of that. And then yeah, that was good. I say number 86 on Penn State, Jeremiah Davis from back then has a big influence on me. He taught me a lot about the position that I play now. He helps me out daily. We go out back, we'll work on pass rush moves together and everything. So he plays a great role for me in my life, and I thank him so much for that. And then I think my 4th from WWE is Roman Reigns. I grew up watching a bunch of WWE. Always watched Roman Reigns. Really enjoyed it. Great athlete. He's good character, and that's something I really grew up watching and following.
Good stuff. Carter.
Yeah, so I didn't really grow up really watching any really sports or specifically not really football. But I'm gonna go with my top 4 offensive linemen in the league right now. But I'm gonna go with Trent Williams, probably Penei Sewell, obviously, and these are all like obviously really dominant like tackles. Lane Johnson and Tristan Wirfs. Those are my Mount Rushmore of probably offensive tackles.
I like that. I like that pull right there. I like that.
Yeah.
So strong. I like that.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that too.
Watching guys in the league, I like that.
Mhm.
Young players out there, you gotta watch people do what you're aiming to do. Take something from their game and put it into yours.
Yeah. Next, we're not going to even talk sports anymore. Got a couple of real fun things, and then we'll wrap this up. First off is, who is your favorite superhero? If you don't watch DC or Marvel comics, maybe it's somebody from Star Wars or from something else. Like, so what is your favorite superhero? And then what is your actual superpower you have? Not a superpower you wish you had, but what is your superpower that somebody may not know about? And my example, and what I mean by that is, so my favorite superhero is Superman. Okay. When I was a kid, I liked Aquaman, but then later on, I realized, wait a minute, he's not really good outside of being in the water. But Superman, because he's super. But my surprise superpower is this: my brother, my wife, my kids, they call me Roadmap, because even before GPSs, I would always know like the best way to go. Or I could remember, I could have driven to your house one time and I figure out how to get there. Or I'm the guy that always tries a new way to get somewhere. And then I get there quicker or sometimes longer. But my superpower is being able to get places. All right, Carter, do you have a favorite
Um,
superhero, and then what is your secret superpower?
yeah, I think my superhero would probably be Batman. I grew up, watching all the Batman stuff and just kind of
Yeah.
being, pretty obsessed with that. I think my superpower, I don't know. I think maybe like super speed or something like that. Like for my size, I think I got a
Oh,
little bit of
good.
speed to myself.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. I like
Coach
that.
Davis is laughing. He knows I'm fast.
Okay. All right. Do you all ever use him as a tackle eligible goal line tight end?
No, but I
I
feel like he
wish.
ran in the track meet where we ran the big man 100. I feel like he ran in that.
I
Okay.
didn't get
Four,
to.
four
I
ball
actually
one.
didn't get to run in it. I wish I did.
They run that 4 ball one.
Yeah, I
Oh
wasn't.
yeah.
I wasn't there at the time. I think I was well somewhere else. I don't. I
I
don't really
remember
remember, but
Woodbridge, great Deshaun Hand doing that at a couple Woodbridge track meets. Yeah. So yeah, I love watching that. Jeremiah.
I think my favorite superhero is Black Panther. That was it was good to see. It was my first time seeing him when he started showing in movies and all of that stuff. He grew on me. I really enjoyed him. My personal superpower is my math skills. I think
Oh,
since I was
sweet.
younger, they've come to me very easily. And it's not the subject I enjoy the most, but it's something that I'm able to do very well. It's been straight A's in math class throughout all 4 years of high school so far without any trouble. So I think that's my personal superpower.
Wow, that's great. And one day that could really get you paid. All right.
I'm gonna I'm gonna kind of
That's good
piggyback on
stuff.
Jeremiah there. I feel like I kind of have that superpower too. Like math just kind of came super easy to me
Okay.
always. So
I used to think that was my superpower till I got to geometry. And then I was like, what is this?
And now you're a numbers guy.
And now I'm a numbers guy, right? I'm a budget guy. That's exactly. Yep. Montez.
My favorite superhero is actually like Sonic. I love Sonic. I've watched
Yeah.
as like a kid. Like to this day, I actually just watched it before I was on the show. So I would say Sonic. My personal superpower, I don't know. I feel like invincibility on the field. Sometimes I'm so short.
Oh, smooth.
I'm
Yeah.
so short that I feel invincible. Sometimes you just can't see me or see where I'm at, and then I just pop out of nowhere.
That's a good one because if you all go power left and you got Jeremiah and Carter and you running behind them and they might not see you. And then
Yeah,
it's too late. Okay,
yeah,
I like that. Coach Davis.
Yeah, mine is Black Panther, like hands down. And my superpower is lyrical memory. And it's funny, I like practice it too. I I turn on the lyrics to songs and turn them off or put it on
Oh, sweet.
yeah, like karaoke mode on the phone and I can recall 90s lyrics probably more better than I should be able to.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. All right. Good. Good. All right. Next question. I know it's do you guys have a favorite movie or TV show that you like? Like I know for me, um, one of my favorite all-time movies is Hoop Dreams. It was a documentary and it followed these two young athlete basketball players in Chicago, but it was real, it was their real story. Um, and so that's my favorite movie of all time. And then if you ask me about like TV shows, like Friday Night Lights, the TV show, that was legit good. At first, I was like, "Yo, this is too much drama," but it was actually a good show, and I was like, the football scenes actually looked pretty real. It was much better than this All American y'all got. Like that was too corny for me. But those are things that I really that I like. What about you, Carter?
so I'll say I grew up watching Scooby Doo. I love that show. I don't watch it anymore, but I feel like I had to mention that. But so my favorite movie, I think I got two. So I really like The Blind Side.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, really, really good movie. I also really like Step Brothers. I also kind of grew
okay,
up watching that too.
yeah, funny, very funny. Okay,
hmm
Coach Davis.
I think My favorite movie of all time is The Last Black Panther Forever. I like that. I like that one. I like how it ended. I like the historical significance. Those that watched the movie, where his son was, what he named him. I like that. And my favorite TV show, I don't really watch too much TV, but I do like podcasts. And my favorite podcast, The Rusty Byrd with the Last Word. I like that
Oh, I got a great co-host. Yes.
I would say my favorite movie. I don't really like watch movies. I can't get all the way through movies, so I'll fall asleep. But I love any movie with Kevin Hart. Like that's like my favorite actor. I would say Kevin Hart. And my favorite show, I would say Snowfall. Uh, I just liked how like it really shows like if you have like if you want power, 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 it can just be taken away like that. So I
Yeah.
like that Snowfall.
And you're taller than Kevin Hart, so that's why you like him too. Perhaps. Jeremiah.
My favorite movie, it came on me after watching it a lot of times. It's my mom's favorite movie actually. It's Coach Carter.
Oh
It's
yeah.
a basketball movie, but there's a lot of importance in it and showing how stuff outside of athletics plays a role in your athletics in the classroom, off the field, off the court. I like the movie and how it shows that impact. TV shows, I do not watch a lot of TV shows, but I do like any sports documentaries. I enjoyed watching the Olympics basketball show. I
Okay.
can't recall the name fully, but I did enjoy watching that and seeing all of how sports work when you do get up to the professional level and the lights are on you all the time.
The last question I want to ask you all, and if you could be drafted by any team in the NFL, who would it be and why? And I asked you, was anybody here a fan of the Cowboys? And you all said no. And so I allowed you to continue and be to be on the show. Now you may want to be drafted by the Cowboys. That's fine. Is there a team? And you may have the reason, you may say Commanders because it's your favorite team and you want to be close to mom, or you could say whatever. But we'll start with you, Montez. If you could be drafted by any team, who would it be and why?
I would say the Detroit Lions. A lot of my family is from Detroit.
Okay.
My dad was born in Detroit. Uh, and running backs from Detroit just are always good. Barry Sanders, Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery. They have lots of great backs, so I would say Detroit.
Okay. Carter.
Yeah, honestly, kind of going off of Montez's answer, like playing for Dan Campbell and like just his mindset with football, wherever he is, doesn't matter what team. I think that would be awesome. But I think really playing for the Commanders would be really cool. Just like your hometown team, and you kind of grew up rooting for. So that would be pretty
Okay.
cool.
All right. Then I'm sure I could get tickets, with you playing for the Commanders. So that'd be great.
Yeah.
Jeremiah.
I think I have two answers. My number one, or it's not in a certain order, but I think being drafted by the Seahawks, my childhood favorite team, would be very cool. And also being drafted to Washington because it's local, it's near family, everybody's able to travel here. And they have good stuff going on right now, and they're moving up. So it's good to see that.
Okay. Coach Davis. Now I'm gonna give my answer, but I'll let Coach Davis also go. But I'm thinking of things like this. I think I wouldn't mind being drafted by like one of the teams in LA just because I would love to live in LA. And the weather's nice. Y'all talk about Detroit, but it get cold in Detroit. But y'all at least play in a dome, all right? But yeah, I wouldn't mind playing for probably the Rams. I like the coaching staff. I like the system they play, and then that stadium is dope. So that's kind of
Is
my
it now or back when I was
no. Now, now. Or either
now?
way, however you want to define it. Yeah, however
I
you want to
mean, when
define
I
it.
was coming up, I wanted to go play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They used to get after it on the defensive line.
Yes,
Um,
that's a good. Yeah,
and how Tony Dungy had them rolling, and
yeah.
that was that was a time period. Um, Now I see. I'm thinking different, man. I like to be the big dog in the area. I want to go to a small market team, where my
Mm-hmm.
family can go and shop and be known and be around a post like maybe like a Green Bay. Um,
Yeah.
somewhere like that where you're just a part
You're
of the community.
Buffalo Bill would
Yeah,
be
the
like you're
Bills.
the man.
The
Like,
Bills, Jeremiah knows I'm a low key Bills fan.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm a true Commanders fan, but like I do have my
Yeah,
sense of the Bills stuff. And shout out Buffalo, shout out Bills Mafia. Like, I mean, if y'all looking for somebody,
yeah.
analyst, coach,
Yeah. Who plays with him? Who plays? Hey, look, this has really been a lot of fun. You guys have blessed my audience and me. I've learned a lot more about you. I'm looking forward to seeing, you all in the playoffs. And we'll close on again. The motto and the theme of this show is, who cares about your first take when you can have the last word? So I'm going to give each of you an opportunity to give us your last thoughts, your last words, anything you just want to shout out, anybody you want to give love to, or just whatever you want to say. We'll start with you, Montez.
I will shout out the man above, God. He's given me a great ability to be not only in a great family, but around some great people, a great team, and yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Carter.
Yeah, honestly, I just want to thank God too, just for all the opportunities, just my family, friends, the team that we have. I'm just thankful for everything and just excited for the future.
Yes, Jeremiah.
And I want to thank God too. I want to thank God for the situation that He's put me in and everybody that's here. We're in good places. I thank Him for the opportunity to be able to be out here and show myself to everybody, including this podcast, like showing myself, getting that exposure, and just trusting Him throughout this process. Trusting Him throughout all of football and even after football ends.
Ooh, that's great. Coach Davis.
Yeah, I mean, everything you do with extreme enthusiasm. Okay, yeah, those guys are gonna say yes with extreme, massive enthusiasm, but it takes a tremendous. What does it take,
I
guys?
was about to say
effort.
tremendous effort.
A tremendous effort. That's the last word, buddy.
Good stuff. Hey, I love that. And I'm going to just close by saying, thank you. Thank you guys for joining my show. This is only the second episode of The Last Word, and I know my audience is going to be blessed by this because you're not just great football players, but again, you've shown, I'm sure your classmates, your family, your coaches have already seen this, but you're showing now a whole nation of just, your character, you all, just the way you responded. And I appreciate you being on the show. The only thing I ask is that you continue with this, to carry yourself this way when you go to the next level. And then beyond that, and I'm not just talking about whatever you do in sports. I'm saying whether you go to college or you don't go to college, whatever you do, just keep it real. Be yourself. Be kind to others and continue to give God the glory. Again, thank you. The only other thing I ask is that if you do play in college, you gotta leave me tickets to at least one game. Okay, that's just one. That's all it costs. One game.
Yes, sir.
I used to love going to catch Coach Davis play at Penn State. I was always good. I just say, "Hey, Jerry, can I get tickets?" And he was always good for that. But no, really, I appreciate you guys being on the show. Enjoy these last few games, these last few moments on the field. You may never play again you will never play with all these exact players ever again in any other scenario like what you've been through with these guys from the last 4 years. So enjoy it, but work hard and just do your best. All right. So for Montez Dyson, for Carter Scruggs, Jeremiah Davis Jr., and my dog, Coach Jeremiah Davis, this has been The Last Word with Loudoun County Football. We are.
Hey, 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 hey. That last word we don't play. DMV heat. coming straight your way. No visit to the 757, we ride. Rusty Byrd got the bullpen live on. Let run DMZ, Mike hot, game tight. Rusty B and the crew bring the real to the mic. From the field to the court, from the fate to the fun. We talk ball, talk life, yeah, all in one. Pop culture, movies and a little bit of soul. Team Jesus in the game, that's how we roll. Coaching, mentoring, calling the plays. Rusty's been repping for years. That's just a phase. The lead word, we don't play. DMV heat coming straight your way. No Viva to the 757, we ride. Rusty Byrd got the bullpen live.